Welcome in. This is Baby Girl Tosh Gaming, and we're going to be hopping into some interviews with some pristine Dead by Daylight players. And what you will see is how these players end up managing throughout their matches, what perks they use, and whatever else. Let's get into it. Welcome in, Ninja Fire. Um,
Hi.
Please introduce yourself using your Dead by Daylight username and state who you play in Dead by Daylight and how many
Hi.
hours you have in Dead by Daylight.
Hello, everyone. I am Ninja. I play Survivor and Killer. I play both sides, and my main Survivor is Mech Thomas, and my main Killer, as of right now, is Ghostface. And I have 2,000, at least 26,000 hours in game. At least.
Okay. Alrighty. So, what does your loadout normally look like? Like when you go into the into like your perks and everything else? What does that look like for you for a general game?
Um, so for Survivor, I usually run boilover, flip flop, windows, and adrenaline.
Okay.
For killer, I usually run NOAD. I run NOAD, uh, Azophobia. I think I also run Third Seal, and what's my last perk I run? Either Devour or I don't remember my last one on the top of my head. So, but yeah, it's a combination of a lot of different perks for killer. For survivor, it's a lot more simple.
Okay.
So.
All right. The next question is explain your playstyle and why you use it. Like,
My playstyle is pretty much whatever I can do at a given time, depending on what killer is, what killer I'm going against. I love being chased because I do think staying on gens is boring. I also try to be as stealthy as I can. I don't know. I guess I'm a team player. Whatever you need me to do, I'm just there for survivor. The killer, since I play Ghostface, I try to be more stealthy in my approach. I usually go after the weaker survivors first and then deal with the stronger looper last.
nice. Alrighty. So the third question is what experiences have you had in matches using the loadout that you use? In terms of different escapes, toxicity, anything like that.
So, like different escapes, I've never really had like toxicity towards my survivor builds.
Okay.
But towards killer builds, I have quite a lot since I use no egg. But a lot of my killers, I feel like no egg's a really good perk. As you may know, the survivor community does not like no egg, nor do they like Lightborn and Franklin's, which I also use those two as well. So I use a lot of perks for killer just to piss off the survivors at endgame because I just think it's so hilarious that people get mad over perks because I
Hmm.
don't get mad when the survivor wins. No
Yeah.
egg or life, it's whatever. You're there to, at the end of the day, I always say you're there to win. Not win. Winning isn't everything, but like, you want to have a good chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes, you
if
do.
if the survivors are there to win, the killers should also be there to win.
Hmm. And would you recommend your loadout to newer players?
I would, especially for killer. I will always tell like newer killers, don't be afraid to bring Nomad, even if you're a little bit more experienced than a newer killer. Bring whatever perk for a survivor or killer you deem fit for yourself. Don't listen to the massive outcries you're gonna get after game. It's fine.
Yes. All right. And the last question is, what advice would you give to players who use your loadout choices? What advice would you give to
Um,
them?
for killer, well, no. For survivor, since I use boiler and flip flop, if you're going with like a duo, or if you guys are all playing up together a 4-man squad, if you want to let your recovery bar be full and not let your teammates pick you up,
Mm-hmm.
let your teammates not pick you up. Tell them I have boiler with flip flop if you wanna try to wiggle out the killer out of the killer's arms. So that way your chase will be a lot longer so the gens can get done. Always tell your teammates, look, I have boiler flip flop, don't pick me up. It's
Yep.
fine. The killer, again, Lightborn, basically if you wanna make the survivor that has the flashlight look dumb, immediately pick up
Yep.
the flashlight because you won't get blinded. And on top of that, you also have flamelets, so their flashlight will be gone. So, and for if you have no egg in your build, don't worry about the gens being done. Let no egg carry you, and then don't worry about endgame because you are gonna get salt. At the end of the day, just say GG, move on, have a good laugh about it if you want to. But just all in all, enjoy the builds, I guess.
That's all the questions I have for you. Thank you for coming in and
I
doing this interview with me.
No, I appreciate it. It was fun.
Alrighty. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So introduce yourself with your Dead by Daylight tag for me. And who do you main and how many hours do you have in Dead by Daylight?
My DBD tag is just Joe710. I main Survivor and I play as Ada Wong, and I played for a year, roughly a year. So I'm not entirely sure how many hours that is, but it's more than enough, I'm sure.
Yep. All right. So what does your loadout normally look like with perks, items, and even offerings if you'd like?
Okay, of course. The perks that I run are streetwise just to get more of a use out of my items, and people around me also benefit from it. Then I also use distortion just to kind of hide my aura from the killer after obtaining the tokens that are necessary to activate it. And then I used Boon Circle of Healing, but from what I understand, there might have been a nerf to that since I've last played, so I'm not sure if it's exactly effective in the playstyle now.
Circle of
And
Healing
then
is yeah, Circle of Healing's not really used. It's they've
no,
nerfed it pretty bad.
I kind of figured a lot of the self healing or really healing perks in general had taken quite a hit since I've played. I know that they nerfed self care before I left, or before I kind of took a break from it. Yeah, I know that they did quite a few changes. And then my last perk would be Life, just for the looping aspect. If I need to get out of somewhere quickly, just hit a window and bail.
Yep. All
And then
right.
you said items and offering as well. I don't want to skip anything. So the item that I usually would run is a med kit of any rarity as long as I have additional charges, whether they're 16 or 8. as long as I can make it stretch and last for my own benefit and people around me if they don't have a means of healing. And then my offering is always it's always blood point based, whether it's party streamers or envelopes, anything like that.
Awesome. All right. So explain your playstyle and why you use it.
My play style changes game to game. Um, there's times where I push and hit gens really hard and gen rush a game. There's games where I'm looping the killer, or I mean, there's even games where I'm running around just healing people so they can go do whatever they're doing for that game. But I mean, whatever it takes to increase the survival odds, I'll do it.
What experiences have you had in matches using the loadout that you use? Whether it be killer interactions or toxicity, anything like that.
The biggest issues I've come across with killers, which I'm sure everybody has, is, face camping, proxy camping, you know, just keeping I forgot what the term is called, but keep the gens on one side turned off. That way they can just camp those out. But like I said, everybody experiences that. Everybody killers all have a different play style. Tunneling was a big issue too. But I think the biggest issue I've had with survivors would be sandbagging for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm in the middle of healing, last thing I need is the random coming up and bringing the killer right to me just to down me so he can get out or free or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but those are just, I'm sure, common issues that everybody encounters.
Absolutely. All right. So, would you recommend your playstyle to newer players?
I mean, to newer players, I would mainly focus on achieving, you know, skill and talent in one aspect of a playstyle before branching out and kind of intertwining different ones. So, for instance, either get good at running around the map and learning where all of the windows and everything else are and all the pallets, and getting used to looping the killer before you're like, okay, now I'm going to be a gen rusher. And trying to intertwine both of them and get good at two things at once is a lot harder than trying to get better at one thing and then branch out and move towards another.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. What advice would you give to players who used your loadout?
Well, first things first, I would definitely replace Boone, the Boone of Healing. Definitely get rid of that. But if they haven't done anything to Streetwise or Light, those two just always come in handy. Streetwise being, like I said, beneficial to you and other survivors, and Light can just help you get out of any kind of sticky situation if used in the proper moment in time.
Alrighty. And that's all the questions I got. Thank you again.